Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with three S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis, here with my lovely co-host, Mr.
Jojo Toole.
And we are here to talk about Rupaul's Drag Race Allstars 5, episode 4. And I think that's the most excited that we're probably going to be talking about it.
Yep.
What were your
happened
thoughts?
this week? Like what happened this week?
I don't know.
First 3 episodes, super strong, really entertaining. This episode was like literally foreshadowing that Mayhem was leaving the entire time, gave her like this nice little arc, and then kicked her out the door.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
We didn't talk to you last week. So what do you think about last week? Maybe just to like branch it into this week's episode.
Thought GGB was great last week. Thought the lip sync was incredibly weak yet again. I thought all in all it was a good week. I don't think Shea Coulee got the credit that she deserved. I actually loved her look. I thought it was really original. It was different, but I liked seeing different sides of queens.
100%.
Last week's episode was good, and it provided some entertainment and drama, which didn't happen this week.
For sure. I mean, I halfly agree with you with Shea. Like, I was interested, like, the face looked kind of cool, and, like, I thought the idea and the concept was really interesting, and I thought it was very creative, and, you know, I love my creative stuff, but I just felt the execution was a little bit arts and crafty, and I didn't particularly like, it was kind of like a very light-colored pink, kind of mothiness, and so I thought she could either go mothy or go butterfly-y. You know, I didn't think that they both should kind of cross. It just didn't seem cohesive for me, but I thought that there was a really good idea in there that executed well could have been like a showstopper.
I like arts and crafty queens, but it's difficult on Drag Race, right? Like, if you're going in for a gig on a Friday night and you whip something together that day, cool. But I get that, like, pull on your professional panties and like come prepared for the show. That final like one little reveal with the wings, and they were just like, I thought, like could have been more grand. So I can agree with that for sure. But I felt like the judges gave her a little. They didn't pat her on the back enough as they could have. I don't think she deserved to be.
Their pat on the back was like put her in the bottom, and maybe she's gonna go home. Like. Well, maybe that was just to scare her. Maybe they knew that the queens weren't going to send her home. Like, I don't know. But, like, I didn't think she deserved to be on the bottom.
Well, especially with this week's episode, we found out the exact reveal of each vote. It could have been a tie.
100%. Well, there was definitely, they're pulling it out for the dramatic effect of, like, one Shea, and then like two Shea. 2 votes for Shea. And so that was Mayhem and Alexis Mateo.
Yes.
Yeah. And well, we know Alexis, she's kind of getting this like mean girl edit now. I mean, I never particularly liked her, and now I really just don't like her that much.
We need a villain.
We need a villain? Fine.
Yeah, we need a villain.
So what do you think about them voting for Shea?
I mean, you and I both know if we were playing Drag Race 5, Allstars, I get the strategy behind it for sure. I think it would have been smart for everyone to say, okay, this is our time to get rid of Shea, but there would have been crazy backlash if Shea Coulee was the 3rd person eliminated from Drag Race.
Another thing too, I know that like if we're playing how we would like to play strategically and like kick out the stronger queens, but I was thinking, especially with this challenge this week, that sometimes maybe you want to keep the good queens in case you're in a group with them. Because
that too.
You don't want to be put in the position where, you know, they drag you down. So
I mean, realistically, the way that this season's going, we know at some point Shea is going to send home Alexis.
No, it's going to be Miss Cracker, and Miss Cracker's going to send home Alexis.
Or Miss Cracker, someone's sending home Alexis, and it's going to be juicy, and it's going to be a week that maybe Alexis shouldn't be the one going home. I really liked this twist, and I didn't think I would.
The twist
of Allstars 5 in general, the voting of the queens. I initially thought, like, oh, it's going to be really lame, and we're going to end up with, like, mediocre queens at the end. I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen or not, but I like the twist.
I do too. I definitely like any extra elements of strategy. I know that like it's not Survivor or Big Brother, but like, you know, there's a lot of money on the line. They've already proven themselves to be drag queens in the real world and in their previous season. So it's kind of like, well, how about we have a little bit of a different game here? How about they be a little more cutthroat in like what it means to be take it to the top, you know? Yeah.
I want to get them snaky.
And Shay, I feel like Shay is clocking that those votes, you know? And well, we do learn that she did clock one of them for sure.
At least one, yes.
So what do you think about the karma and the bad juju, and that Jujubee is like destined to maybe go down this time? I'm saying that, you know, they win one week and then the next week everybody's been on the bottom. Has been this consistent pattern this season. How do you feel about Juju's fate?
I mean, it was only 2 weeks, so sure. It could have happened, absolutely. But I would hope that Jujubee would have her good Jujubee going on. Especially being in a group with Blair and Cracker, I'd feel pretty comfortable if I was any of those girls working together. But even seeing Alexis and Shay, I thought, like, they could turn this up. I really would not want to be in a group with India, especially for improv. I don't think of her as a strong comedic actor or strong actor in general. And I think putting her and Mayhem together was kind of
trying to get her out.
It's calculated to me.
So those were the groups for the Hollywood Gossip Show Challenge, She MZ. Now, what the F is going on with the No Mini Challenge?
I don't know
is it just no mini challenge in Allstars and I just don't remember that?
I think they had one the first episode and then they've kind of stopped. Maybe they've been filming them, but they've been finding like more footage to put in. And the show has gone on to an hour and a half instead of an hour. So I feel like they could slip it in, but dealing with like the lip sync assassin reveal, there's quite a bit more time on the runway for the bottom half of the show. The top half of the show is really condensed, I find.
Well, and that's kind of my complaint is that when Ru came in, I was like, oh, yay, like we're going to have a mini challenge. And I'm like, oh, no, he's announcing the maxi challenge. Okay. I do like how it breaks up the episode. Like, I like them doing quick drag. I like them doing maybe the reading challenge. Like, I like just something silly and different in the beginning. And then the winner gets to throw some shade by how they set up these groups. And like, what is the protocol for them arranging these groups, the producers? Like, I mean, obviously, maybe they're trying to get rid of India, kind of like what you suggested, but...
Wow, I'm shocked that India's still there. So, not to spoil anything yet, but I thought she looked great at the runway. This is the best one.
I wrote that down, that she looked pretty good today. So, the teams it's an improv challenge, and I don't know if any of these queens, other than maybe Jujubee and Cracker, are actually good at improv. And I think that maybe Ru needs to reshape some of her challenges because they seem to be falling flat, in my opinion. They haven't been funny. So we had India and Mayhem. So it was kind of like India was a chronic shoplifter, and Mayhem is a shop girl that catches her. We have Jujubee, Blair, and Ms. Cracker. Jujubee being the overprotective drag mother, Blair an obnoxious, ungrateful drag daughter. And
what a stretch.
Is a shady queen, and she's at the head of a college admissions scandal, something like that. And then we have Shea Coulee and who's she with? I didn't write down who she was with.
Alexis.
Oh, and Alexis. And they were kind of to be doing a spin-off of, you know, the Real Housewives. They were
the fake housewives of Tuckahoe.
Tuckahoe. Yeah, I was like, when I saw the groups together, I thought that Jujubee, Blair, and Cracker were going to do the best immediately, like just looking at it. But why did they need to do this Cracker when it was this challenge when it's uneven? Like, I want it 2-2-2. I want it 3-3-3.
Yeah.
The unbalance of it changes the dynamics for sure, and I don't know if it's actually fair.
Especially with what is it left? 7 people?
Yeah.
2, 2, 3. My math skills are awful. Yeah, they could have done 3, 3, have one person do 2 sides. There could have been the winner of the mini challenge could have been in both.
Don't
Who
have
knows?
a team challenge this time.
Sure, make it a full story. I think there was definitely having 3 people is definitely more people to play with, more people to play off of, and more talent to work with. I thought that was the strongest team in general. Maybe they do pick out of a hat, but it seemed really calculated to me that they wanted Alexis and Shade together. They wanted the Blair and Cracker drama. They wanted India and Mayhem to reach the bottom 2, so one of them will go, which ended up happening.
Well, I wrote, this will be bad. I don't think enough of these queens are funny.
Yeah, it's Allstars 5, but I don't consider all of these queens stars.
Yeah.
They're all returnees for sure. But
that Shade button. I need to get one.
But I don't know. I didn't expect. I actually thought it was a lot better than I had expected it to be.
100%. But at that moment, I was like, this is not going to be funny at all. So next up in the episode, we have Ms. Cracker wanting to clear the air about Blair. I don't remember seeing any of that in the show or any discussions about that. Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, Blair and Mayhem were gossiping about Cracker. I think it was last episode. I think it might have been episode 2 with Angina. And they had been chatting together. And then Alexis and Cracker kind of had their blow-up moment. So there was talk in the workroom about Cracker. Blair didn't own up to it, and maybe it was such a one-off that she forgot about it. And it could have been just an isolated incident. But I don't think it was. I think they do all kind of talk smack about each other.
He looked guilty.
Yeah. They're drag queens.
Girl, I was like, Blair.
I'm not coming for you. You're discombobulating Blair St. Clair.
All I need to say is yes, just from what was going on with you and Angina, we just were talking about that drama specifically. I'm not really coming for you. We're just talking about the events that week.
1,000%. But not everyone can own up. Not everyone can own up to being called out, right? Even if she didn't remember the specifics, I'm sure you'd remember it happened, maybe. So yeah, I probably did say something. I'm sorry. I'm not coming for you. Exactly. Bad day, whatever.
Exactly. And definitely she's giving you the opportunity to clear the air. Do it, because she may be having your lipstick in her hand one day. It's you gotta kiss some butts, be a little more politician-like, in this game, because it's you never know who's gonna have the power, especially in All-Stars. They would just be I don't like you anymore, which kind of is what happened this time around, and they could send you home. So if you don't like her, it's fine, but you might just want to kiss her butt just a little bit, just in case she gets some power.
Which I think Shay did really well this episode. She tossed a little shade back and forth with Alexis, and they were able to give each other a little, hey, how are you? But
not for me.
No, that was Shay for Alexis during the show. She was like, yeah, okay, girl. Finger up
around there.
But at the end of the day, it's a competition. You do have to work together. You don't have to like these people. But you want to be safe, or you want to win, or be a top. Nobody wants you to be a bottom unless the cameras aren't rolling. Unless the cameras are rolling somewhere else, not in the workroom.
And you're getting paid for the cameras to be rolling.
For the camera, yes. And $10.99 a month, OnlyFans.
And Jujubee would probably want to be watching, because she is thirsty for those two, eh?
She was into it. I like Jujubee. I think she's quick, she's witty, she knows what to say, and I think she's genuine. And she's pretty, I don't want to say mature, but maybe that's the right word to describe her. I think she's a mature person. She's done a lot of growing up since she was first on Drag Race.
Absolutely. And she's funny, she's likable, she throws shade that doesn't make me angry. I don't know, she is pleasant to enjoy. I'm allowed to enjoy her on the show. You know, it's not like Alexis Mateo that's trying to do something. But I like whatever Jujubee's doing. It's like, where's she? I want to see what she's gonna do. And
I want to go to
far for me so
her screen from her eyes. And I think we're getting a lot of that. I think we're getting some good confessionals from Juju, and that might be good for her during the show.
Well, she's the narrator, so hopefully she narrates us all the way through. I can't really picture somebody else taking over that role, really.
Yeah, I picture now India taking over that role. She's just like, so, yeah, great episode.
Oh, no good. No.
Were you bothered by the TMZ acting?
Well, I wrote down, they look so awkward as straight men. Sach, I wanted you to come as a straight man today.
All sitting like this, or all like crotch out. I felt like each of them were trying to like slow. No, don't.
Oh my god, it made me so uncomfortable.
And Shay's contact lenses for the TMZ. She was wearing like these blue contact lenses for the TMZ. Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing? What have you done?
I mean, I don't know if Shay could make herself look like super hetero at all.
I don't know. Maybe they'll put in like peppermint, robin egg blue eye contacts. That might be a start. Shay Coulee, if you're watching this.
I think was the most trade looking man.
I think the one that looked the most realistic was probably India.
Yeah, I agree.
Literally looked like themselves. I kind of think Cracker's cute though. Cracker's kind of grown on me. Here and there, I'm like, okay, you're kind of cute. All right. Okay,
well,
Cracker.
I think we like her better when she's not being mean and she's like being vulnerable and being just funny, and like we like likable people. It's just kind of how it is. And so when she's not being shitty, like we like.
There wasn't a lot of negativity with Cracker this episode.
Exactly.
And it felt like a relief. I was like, okay, I'm just like enjoying the episode itself.
Absolutely. And you wanted to see her do well.
Yes. I want to see them all do well, though. They're just not all well.
One thing I did notice, I don't know if you did or if I'm just like have x-ray vision, but I felt that on the neck of Jujubee looked like there was some hickey action going. It was like kind of red splotchy here and red splotchy here. I don't know. Maybe her, Cracker, and Blair St. Clair had something else going on that we didn't know. But I noticed it when they were dressed as the straight men for the segment.
I'm going to go back and watch that.
Yes. You tell me. Comment below and tell me if you see the...
There's nothing worse than big ol' hickey, too. Just embarrassing.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll tell you a story. I was in high school. It was probably like, I don't know, 15 or 16. And like, we all like were like, had like a sleepover, like a co-ed sleepover. And this guy I was like dating was like, giving me like just kissing my neck type thing or whatever. And the next morning we all go to McDonald's for like McDonald's breakfast, like a big group of us. And the woman was like, oh my god, are you okay? And I'm like, oh, what? And she's like, oh my god, you have a huge, like, crazy rash all over your neck. I was like, what? It's like, go into the washroom. I have deep purple hickeys on my entire neck. Like, it was like as dark as this, like, on my neck, like, all right over here. And I was so embarrassed. And I was on my way home, and it's, like, daylight. Like,
what did your mom say?
I don't think she noticed. I put on a turtleneck right away. It was like summer.
You like bring your hair over, or you have like a little
carrying my cat like around my neck.
I'm constantly reading, Mother. Leave me be.
Like,
oh,
nothing's wrong. What are you talking about?
That's the English one. See, for boys, we're lucky. We can just do like, especially back in the early 2000s, we could just like pop our collars and be like, we're fine, whatever. Well, look, I'm good.
Oh my god, kinkies are so embarrassing, but they feel good.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
You don't really realize that it's actually doing anything in the moment.
Until it's too late. Until it's too late.
I know. Anyways, I brought back like, PTSD over
black memories, yes.
so embarrassed. Like I got made fun of so much by like my friends that saw it after because they didn't notice, or maybe
Like,
they didn't say anything.
you're a leper. You got leprosy.
Um. So, oh my God, wait. So, what was it? It was somebody said a really gross comment as a straight man. I'd let Blair St. Clair influence me any day. Hashtag fine. I think it was Blair said it. I said gross. Ew,
Yeah.
Blair.
Yeah, I feel like Blair's the type of person that would like jerk off to herself. Like she'd be like, I'm so hot. Like, I just love me. Like, I just feel like that's a thing.
I actually don't think Blair is really sexual.
No?
Not really.
My DMs say differently. No, I'm kidding.
Tell me, go on.
Go on. I've not Blair, no. Blair, I don't think Blair's ever messaged me. I've had a couple of them message me, but not Blair.
Can you name names?
Mayhem and I have chatted, for sure.
Uh-huh.
Nothing inappropriate. She was always very, like, good about it. She started, like, commenting on all my chalkboard art years ago, and then she would, like, send me direct messages being like, I love this one. Do another one. I'm like, you love that one? Because I'm in my ass is fully exposed. Send. I know why you like that one. Okay.
Whoa, how come I'm only finding out about this now? Actually, maybe I didn't know, but I don't remember.
I can find way too many receipts that'll get people in trouble, so.
I love it. Yes. Are you gonna have lots of receipts for the Toronto Queens or the Canada Queens?
Okay. Oh, I don't think no, but I like a lot of our Toronto Queens. I have history with one that's not the best.
Are you going to be spilling tea?
I don't know if I want to spill the tea because I kind of feel bad about it, but I definitely could. But I might.
We'll see how it flows.
We'll see how it goes.
Blair does look a bit like Justin Bieber. I think that Carson or I don't know if it was Carson that said it or if it was just in like the voiceover, but she has a Bieber-esqueness to her for sure.
Yeah, especially the wig that they chose. I'm like, okay, I like your Karen wig that you've decided on. Just put on a hat and like don't have the rest of your hair. Or like, I don't know. I have too many wigs. They have so many wigs to play with. Get a little brown one or something.
I mean, I think that they were trying not to look great, but like,
get it. Just grab one of Shay's Pussycat wigs and slap it on and make it
no. Wasn't it, what's her name?
Blair?
No, I thought the Pussycat wigs were
Exchange. Yeah. She's got a cute ones.
Yeah, she looked great. I thought she looked great last week. I liked her. So for the challenge, so they had the improv challenge, and the first group to go up was the Blair, who else was in it? Blair, Cracker, and Jojo. I didn't particularly find it that funny. I thought that Blair looked really pretty. I thought they all looked pretty good. Cracker kind of looks a little bit cheap, not like sexually cheap, but like cheap as in like kind of crafty cheap to me. I didn't find it funny though. It was okay.
I liked it. I liked the interaction between Jojo and Cracker when they were up really close and they were talking about like kind of being in love with one another at one point. I thought it was good, but it didn't make me like laugh out loud. There was a couple of good moments from Cracker though, so I understood why she won it. She had some good lines in there. I can't think like, but the sad thing is I can't repeat them back to you. So how good are they really?
Well, I didn't even have anything to write down. I put not funny. Blair looked good.
Yeah. I think
exactly.
I think I was more excited about Shea Coulee's jackets in the workroom than I were about this actual maxi challenge. So
absolutely.
Nice. I want to borrow that one. I want to borrow that one.
Ooh. Maybe you can make that happen. Draw a chalk art and see if you can do a trade.
Yeah, maybe I could. Smart idea.
Give me this if you give me that, please.
Yeah, can I have your designer jackets for an image? Thank you. Love you.
The next team was Shay and Alexis. And I thought they were funnier, in my opinion, than the trio. Well, I liked the part where, what was Shay saying that was so funny? Oh, shoot. Oh, sorry. I'm lying so completely. I completely skipped over Shay and Alexis, who were actually first, went on to the trio. But anyways, so Shay and Alexis, she was like, food, food, baby, food, baby. That's the only part I kind of chuckled at.
That was cute. Oh, to go back, the only thing I found funny in the other one was when Cracker said, "Over more bumps than your foundation stick." That laugh out loud. I wrote that one down.
I clocked that in my head, but I didn't write it down.
Also, so many fat jokes about Alexis, which I don't love. I know she's gained weight. I wish they would just drop it. It's like when people have bad teeth and like all they talk about is having bad teeth. And I was glad that they like pushed Alexis being pregnant. That was a great storyline to go with and to have the pillow fight. But I'm kind of tired of like weight being such an issue.
Well, now, do you think though that it was Alexis that brought that to the table?
Probably, but that's cheap to me. It's like, I don't love like when people are like, I want a big girl queen to win. I get that, but just because someone's big doesn't make me want them to win. It's everything else about them. So I don't really care what your body shape is.
Just be good.
Just be good. And yeah, statistics, I get that. Like, they haven't had a winner that's been plus size. But come on. I just don't love like fat jokes or like bad teeth jokes. I'm like, be more creative than that. Yeah, so when they went the pregnant route, I got it. I liked it.
And if it's a fat joke, it better be freaking really funny.
Yes.
Like really funny. Really funny.
I thought Ross was a great element to add into the scene too, because he actually could like try and push some comedy, and like he's really good with improv. He's really good with that kind of stuff. So he was able to kind of shape a scene.
Yeah.
But that felt like it went flat with Mayhem in India. The whole shoplifting thing, it just didn't go anywhere. It was really one level, and then they got to licking, and like, yeah, there was some
licking. I actually thought was like when India started the licking, and I wish he went further into like seductive, sensual licking because it was so uncomfortable. But like that kind of made me laugh a little bit. But then he made it like to like like that. No, it has to be really sensual, whatever, to be like kind of funny, and that's
it had to come from like a genuine place of like, I really love this, like I love licking this, and like even getting a close up on the camera if they'd framed it in, and
just like a romantic moment with like the donut, like
just a tender kiss, a caress, you know, like
a hickey.
the whole just like everything. So many things you could do.
Mm-hmm. And then when Mayhem came in, she kind of like stole the moment, but like didn't add to it. It just made it kind of messy. I kind of though giggled though when the vase came out of her poos. I found it funny, but you know what I wrote down? What? That I thought that team was the funniest. I thought that it was the funniest.
Yeah.
In that moment, I thought that they won.
Wow, really?
I did. I mean, I don't know if it's because I just watched it back like super quickly and I didn't have a chance to like go back and analyze it, but I 100% that I felt good about them. I said, was Mayhem and India the funniest? That's my question that I wrote. I thought they might have been the funniest.
I love that. I kind of felt like they were all in the same par a little bit, but I think there was like stronger moments edited.
Sure.
Show.
So it could be because they were the last group that I watched. You know what I mean? That like I remembered it, and I also was like kind of rushing. But I definitely felt that it was their strongest acting / improv that they've done this season for both of them.
For both of them, I think Mayhem was better last week. She genuinely made me laugh. But I just didn't feel like Mayhem had a character. There wasn't anything that really punched out to me. It was like, when she was on I think she like played a bachelorette character or something that was just so fast. Maybe if she like had a bouquet of roses on her at all times or something. I just wanted more, and I hate wanting more. Just give me what I want.
Exactly. You're an all-star. Do it.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about this all the time, but it's kind of like, why aren't they more prepared?
I think they
have more jokes. Just have jokes. Like,
literally written out just everything. And you probably know, like, you realistically probably know who's going to be on the cast with you. Word gets around. Be prepared in that sense. Like, okay, I know Shay's going to be here. I'll make, maybe at the lip sync, at the library reading challenge, I'll lift up my wig and have roses. Like, there's so many things you could think of beforehand. That would be great. I just want to see preparation. Or
exactly, like, we would be taking this seriously in the sense of, like, I would make sure that I was prepared for any type of challenge. Like, I would have jokes ready to go so I can just pull out a joke and maybe have a theme about a joke. I'd have different characters, like 10 different characters. Like, I don't know, I just would be prepared for anything. And I wouldn't have these two-dimensional characters that I'm bringing into an improv challenge. Like, they needed to structure them a little bit better instead of just like, okay, I'm gonna walk on and you come and catch me. Like, no, just because you're doing an improv challenge, it's being filmed. You still need to have your beats. You still need to have your beginning, middle, and end. You still need to have your intentions as, like, your motivations and intentions. Like, you still need to do all that work. You can't just do improv. You have to create a scene. Anyways, I guess they need an acting coach or something on there. Like, they need someone to help them because they don't know how to structure scenes.
Yeah.
Like, create the beats. So we have the mentioning of the runway challenge, and it's going to be, or runway theme, and it's going to be camo couture, which I was pretty excited about. I like a little bit of camo. I think everybody looks kind of sexy and a little camouflage.
I don't normally love camo, but I was looking forward to the looks, if that makes sense. We've seen some really good camo looks in the past at Drag Race, so I want to see that elevated couture look. Mm-hmm. And I think some of them definitely brought it. But did anyone, like, blow me away?
No.
I don't think so.
Before the actual challenge, though, just a quick little aside. We learned that Blair, after her season, DUI that she had in the past came out on TMZ. And then we also heard a lot about Mayhem having 2 DUIs and also doing some time, it seems. And then she ended up getting some help, et cetera, et cetera. And she felt that this season she's been a little more open than she was in her previous season. And as soon as this whole segment happened, I was like, oh, I guess Mayhem's going home this episode. Okay.
Yeah, this happens often on Drag Race where once someone's painting their face and they give a really personal story about their lives, shit hits the fan. You kind of expect them to be the one to go that evening. And more than not, it happens. More often than not, that's what happens.
It happens enough for me to write it down. I was like, is she winning or is she going home? Probably going home.
Going home, unfortunately.
So when Rue came out, we've been talking this past season about Rue's face looking good, and I'm not loving her dresses. Is she maybe going to a design school to get some student work or something? Because I just, like, I've seen her wear some amazing things before, and I feel like her taste level is better than that. I didn't like her dress, but her hair and makeup I thought looked amazing.
Doing this, I loved it. I was like, her face looked great. I loved the curl, the gorgeous up, off her face, stunning. The dress itself, this big, like, black poof for no reason, ill-fitting cut. There was, like, these, you know, those flags that you can get for, like, college football. I thought that's what it was.
I couldn't know. I was trying to read it. Did it say something Rue something?
Not even Rue. It was like, I don't know. It just looked bad. Maybe if it was like a Rue or Drag You theme or something, that would be fun with, like, just different colors. It was just off for me. Yet again, not impressed with Rue's look, unfortunately.
Her entire look. Yeah, me too. I need to get to the bottom of this. Like, is she just giving someone scream time? I don't know.
Who can we call?
Yeah, please. So quickly going through it. So Jujubee came out with her red hair and cape. Yeah. Ms. Cracker, I loved her look right off the bat with her long blonde pony.
Matched brows look great.
Oh, good.
Basic.
Sorry?
She had, like, this little basic little training bra on. Loved it.
I definitely loved Ms. Cracker's look the best. Belair, her face looked gorgeous, but it was kind of like a poison ivy type thing. I didn't like the tree pants.
I kind of love them. I
Tree
like the. I kind of loved it. I
pants.
like how
The
they.
shredded
Oh,
tree pants.
I know. Well, it was like went up to like here. She was like a trunk, but I kind of loved the bell bottoms. I was feeling it. But the butterflies scared me. If anyone ever has butterflies anymore, wearing them just makes me nervous.
What?
Asia, well, just Asia O'Hara, season finale 10 of Drag Race. All the dead. Oh, and she had like she was trying to do a reveal to have like real butterflies come out of her dress, but because the air conditioning in the theater was so cold, all the butterflies were dead. So there was just dead butterflies coming out of her. It was very dramatic.
I don't remember that at all. Did I block it out?
You blocked it out. They had to edit the finale because it was dead butterflies all over the floor. And at one point, Cameron Michaels looked down and was like, "Oh my god! Like there's dead butterflies everywhere." I'll send you a Reddit link. It's bad.
I just need to relate this to another story of mine. Well, when I was like about 6 or 7 years old, I remember there used to be caterpillars everywhere. Like when I was younger, like there was just tons of caterpillars. And I was at my grandmother's house, and the neighbor's house across the street had this tree that just had tons of caterpillars, and I loved them, and I let them crawl on me, and like, so I decided once to get like a jar, and I put like a tree, like a piece of wood and some leaves and stuff like that, and I started collecting like the ones I thought were the cutest, and I put holes in the top because I want them to like live, and so I put the ones that I really liked in this jar, and I put it in the shade. I didn't want it to be in the sun. And the like next day or something, they all like started turning to mush and eating each other, and like half of them were dead. It was just like this brown jar of like caterpillar sludge. And so my grandmother like opens the lid and just like throws all the sludge everywhere, and I just see these like half like squirming caterpillars that are like covered. It smelled, oh my god, it was so traumatic. I never liked caterpillars after that. It was so gross. It was so
I'm traumatized for you, but this explains so much. The sludge.
Oh my god, this is so traumatic. Okay, and then also, so Shane came out in her blue camo. I thought again it was too crafty. I didn't like that head scarf. And that didn't work for me. She had a look that she could have maybe worked, but it just didn't. It looked too crafty for me. I know you like crafty, but it's too crafty.
And I like a shift dress, but I just didn't think it worked. I got the whole like nosy neighbor, but it felt really like it kind of felt rushed to me. I didn't care for it.
Yeah. And if you're gonna do blue camo, like I don't know, do something really couture. Like I don't know, I wanted to see big dresses, and like I wanted it to be a little bit more fantastical as opposed to like outfit. You know, I wanted like
it looked like a Friday night at the bar. It didn't look like a drag race runway.
Couture runway challenge. Like I want Met Ball like glamour, you know? Met Ball. That's what I was wanting from it. Like imagine the Met Ball had a camo theme. Like people would be, oh my god. It'd be so good.
I'll call Anna.
Clearly I just watched the Met Ball episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So I'm like totally feeling the Met Ball. And I'm like, I think that's what I dream to have happen to me in life, is that I'm invited to the Met Ball and I get to do a really cool theme.
One day.
I love dressing up so much. Oh.
Really?
Oh. So Alexis Mateo was a snow queen. I
thought it was kind of a standout.
It was all white. I don't know about this hunter camo thing.
So it's like a winter camouflage. So it's like when you're hunting deer in the winter, you wear the white, but there's like little branches inside. I recognize it only because I'm from the East Coast, and like I see that camo more often than in the summertime. But yet again, like classic Alexis, she went over the top. I think she could have like went really beautiful and kept it gorgeous. It was just a little over the top, but still sickening. I thought like one of Alexis' better looks.
100%. One of her better looks for sure. I'll 100% agree with that. I felt that, yes, I like that she stepped outside the box with like using this hunter's camo type idea, but I wasn't wowed by it, you know? And so if you're gonna step out of the box, like it just looked too much not like camo to me, that like I was just kind of like, it just to me looked like she didn't fill the brief as opposed to being very creative within the brief. Just from
and that's totally fair, I think. Wasn't like
then we have Mayhem. I said I like the look, like the color of it and how she looked, but I didn't feel like the cut of the bodysuit was flattering. And also like bodysuits, like I'm over it, you know?
It's I thought the cut, like Sarah Hyland, who I love, I did like the fact that, sorry, I'm taking the slides out of control. I liked the look. It just, yet again, wasn't impressive. Mm-hmm. It was like Michelle would say, a bodysuit on the runway. We know how she feels about them. She doesn't like them.
It's kind of like, you know, you can do better than a freaking bodysuit or a bathing suit or like, you know, one piece suit. Like, do more. We want more.
We want more of it.
Allstars say India, then you can skedaddle and I'll just close it up after since you need to skedaddle.
Should I start walking?
If you want.
I'm going to continue. Yeah. I just have shit to do and making it happen, but we're walking and talking.
Walking.
India for sure. Like best she's ever looked. 1,000%.
100%. I was like, the camo kimono, I was like, she looked pretty good. I was impressed by India. I felt that her painting wasn't as distasteful as I usually recognize her to be, and I definitely appreciate that she stepped it up a bit. So the two queens that were safe were Blair and Shay. How do you feel about that?
Not surprised. I mean, do I want to see Shay and Blair?
Or Jojo in an elevator, maybe?
I was hoping at least 3. It's so echoey, isn't it? Go down here and take the elevator instead.
Elevator might cut out.
Oh, fuck.
It's okay.
Trapped. Yeah, I would have preferred to have 3 safe queens so that we could actually like see and hear more about what they had thought. But yeah, like, I'm not surprised that the 2 of them were safe.
Yeah, me neither.
It wasn't a shocker to me.
No, exactly. I totally agree. So, Jujubee, they felt that was like she was funny, and you can always count on Jujubee. And that's the thing we were just talking about earlier too, is that you can always count on Jujubee to deliver. Like it's just like you're gonna enjoy watching what she has to do, and her runway looks are going to be pretty solid. Not necessarily too wow factor, but they're always gonna look really polished and good, and she's gonna look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Ms. Cracker, they loved her. They thought that look was the bomb with a little pun over there, alarmy pun.
I do agree, though. Like, it was probably the best that Crackers ever looked on the runway. Maybe in both seasons.
And it's probably because they told them that they're having a camouflage episode, and she either bought it, crafted it, like whatever, but she had it with her, and she didn't have to think about it on the spot. And I think it was it had to have been conceptualized before she came to the show. Like, had to.
Oh, 1,000%. She came prepared with that.
So Alexis, they loved her hunter's camouflage, but they felt that she was like cutting Shay off a little bit in the challenge, which I totally agree. She doesn't really listen very well, and key to improv is listening. And I find that she always says like no or that's not true, and that's like number 1 rule of improv. And Sarah said it is yes. Yes, and how am I going to contribute to the story as opposed to blocking it and stopping it and changing it? Like, you have to go with whatever your partner is doing, and I don't feel that she's good at allowing that to happen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think there's a disconnect with Alexa sometimes. I feel as if she has a script, she performs really well. When she has to rely on herself, it can come off a little, I don't want to say aggressive, but she really wants to be the star.
Yeah.
I think she's in her past though, like on Drag Race, she's had trouble with that. Like,
you're frozen. You're breaking up a little bit, Jojo.
Out.
You're frozen, but I think I can hear you. Or not. Oh.
Oh. You think I'm cut out?
You're kind of still working a little bit. I love technology. Mercury retrograde. Can I hear you still, Jojo? Well, I will continue on until Jojo maybe or maybe not comes back. So for Mayhem, Michelle felt that she's kind of picking up some attitude with Mayhem and about how she was like not really being that receptive of like the comments that Michelle was giving her. And I think that's a kind of a similar pattern to kind of Mayhem getting any sort of critique. She doesn't welcome them. She's just kind of like very, very combative when she receives criticism. And when that happened, I felt as like, ooh, this definitely might be her time to be out of the show, because, you know, you don't want to give any attitude back to the judges. These people are the ones that are going to choose whether or not you're going to be in the bottom two or not. So how about you be gracious to work with? Like, you want to work with people. You want people that's not going to give you this negative energy if you know, give them some constructive criticism. So Michelle did not like Mayhem's attitude. For India, though, they loved her look, and I did too. I did feel that like India has definitely been improving since the first week. I don't believe any of us chose her for her draft, and at this point, I wish that one of us had. Like, I wish I took her instead of Derek Barry at this point, because you know, she seems to be doing a lot better. I don't see her having winning power, in my opinion, but hopefully she's going to continue getting better, and maybe she can find her groove in the comedy scene. We'll see. Snatch Game is going to be next week, so we'll see what she has to bring. That'll be the true test of whether or not she's made some improvement, to see her Snatch Game and see if she can be really creative and funny. If she can be funny, we just want her to be funny. What else do we have going on? So India and Mayhem end up being in the bottom. Ms. Cracker is the winner of this competition, and I think she deserved to be the winner here. Even though I didn't particularly love the three of the trio doing their improv scene, she definitely took chances. She definitely drove the story. She definitely was a good person to be working with in a scene. And so with that, accompanied with the fact that she had like amazing outfit, and face and hair looked great, I think that she definitely deserved this win this time around. So she won, and then Jujubee and Alexis are both safe. So India's crushed, and I understand how India could be crushed, because when I was watching it, I did not think that they were the worst two. It could just be recency bias because I just was watching their scene, and I liked the vase coming out of her crotch. I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, I definitely can understand why both of them were a little bit hurt by the fact that they didn't think that they were in the bottom. And some of the other queens also thought that they might have been the top two queens, which is, I think, really interesting, that even the queens competing with them were surprised by how both of them placed. So that is interesting for sure. So Ms. Cracker is leading the show, because she's going to have to choose one of these two queens to save, basically, or well, to vote out, and in turn saving the other. And so she's sitting down talking with Mayhem, and Mayhem really was asking her, like, why do you want to be here? And like, are you really, like, wanting her to plead her case? And Mayhem didn't really sell it for me. She didn't really act like she wanted to be here. She kind of acted like, if it's my time, it's my time. And, you know, I don't know, just like, she wasn't fighting to be here. And it could be because she didn't want to beg maybe Ms. Cracker, because she had beef with her and, you know, wasn't really vibing with her on this particular season. So maybe that was what was going on. It wasn't like her best friend being like, save me, please. But I just felt that her being on the bottom and how she was campaigning to Ms. Cracker, that she wasn't going to be staying. Not with her vote anyways. And then for India, she was asking if she thought that Mayhem had shown everything that she could, if she was doing a good job with like growing. And she found that like India was fighting harder to be here than Mayhem. And I totally agree with that. I feel that India, she has been improving. She hasn't been in the bottom, so she's had to fight a few times, but she has a little bit more fire, at least in this episode, of wanting to stay. And Mayhem didn't want to stay anymore. And she didn't want to fight to be there. And I think she was deflated by, her comments on the runway, not doing well in the challenge, even though she thought she did better than she did. And she didn't want to maybe put herself through that anymore. I'm not sure, but it was unfortunate because I thought that she looked gorgeous. I was kind of rooting for her. I thought that hopefully she was going to like just have improved even more than she was her first season. And she didn't really improve that much. She was kind of the same. Her aesthetic was the same. Her comedy was the same. I don't think she grew that much. Maybe as a person in the real world, she might have grown more, but I didn't really see her growth as a queen. She didn't get much better, in my opinion. So, yeah, everybody feels that Mayhem's throwing in the towel, and so do I. And Jujubee, like me, is wondering, why isn't she fighting to stay? Why? It's like you're on this show, you know that you wanted to be on this show. Like, it's not like it's the first time around and like you can't take the stress and you can't take, being criticized or whatever, but it's your second time around and it's to be considered an all-star. And so the fact that people are throwing in the towel and like kind of giving up, it's like, why are you stealing a spot from somebody that would have given a lot to be there and tried really hard to be there? I just wonder what their criteria is for having people come on the show as an all-star, because it's like Angina kind of quitting. Derek Barry, I think he quit in the fact that he didn't really try that hard to be. He knows that they want to see something other than Britney, and he did not bring anything other than Britney. So I feel like he didn't really try to be there either. I wonder what their criteria is, because I love people that fight for it, that really want it. That's what I want to see. I want to see them battling it out. And when people are kind of want to quit or kind of want to throw in the towel, like it just falls flat. I'm just like, okay, bye. I don't even want this episode to be about you anymore. Just go. So this is the third time India was in the bottom three. So that might not bode well for her staying, depending on obviously how Ms. Cracker votes. But in my heart, I felt that Ms. Cracker was going to vote out Mayhem just because they weren't getting along. And I believe they're on the same season together. And yeah, and her attitude wasn't great. She wasn't fighting to be there. She wasn't kissing any butt at all. And sometimes in these social strategy games, you got to kiss a little butt if you want to move further in the game. And we talked about it earlier with Jojo. It's kind of like, well, you may not like them, but they may have the opportunity to save you from going home. So you might just want to keep your enemies closer, make them your friends. Figure out a way to get along with them, and just in case they have to choose whether or not you're going to stay or go. So she thought that, what did I write here? Oh, my favorite moment of the episode was when Shay was going up to vote, and she was like, well, it would be rude of me not to return the favor back to Mayhem and not vote her out, since she voted me out last week. And so I was like, it's true. If you're going to vote somebody out, you better make sure they go home, or don't ever admit that you did that voting, because you could be in this position where they could be choosing who to vote to stay or go, and they might want to pull your lipstick if they don't have a good taste in their mouth from you. So that was a bad gameplay, I think, for Mayhem. Even though I think that she still would have had the votes to go out, it seems like it was unanimous. Not sure. We'll find out tomorrow or next week. But, she might have been able to save at least one vote, and maybe two, maybe three, if she's just like nicer to people and campaigned a little bit. Campaigning. So we have our lip sync assassin come out, and it's Morgan Michaels. And I remembered her name, but her face looks a little bit different. And I definitely didn't know that her and Mayhem were best friends for the last 20 years. But then I kind of remember, but I just didn't remember what she looked like. So I went back and I was kind of flipping through the images, and I found that I remembered who she was then, but I think she might have gotten a little bit of work done. So she might have made some of that coin and got a little bit of enhancements in the face. I thought she looked gorgeous, but I didn't recognize her face from the person that I'd originally met in her original season. So, oh, I kind of remember her now. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan though. She always had like short hair. I feel like maybe short red hair. I think that was like always. Anyways, not sure. Kind of remember her now, but she definitely looked really different. She looked gorgeous. Both her and Cracker's outfits for these the assassin lip sync was gorgeous. So I wonder if there's a theme there that they're supposed to follow, because they're both wearing all white and kind of crystally. Cracker was wearing kind of bodysuit with like a beautiful short long bob, and Mia Michaels was wearing like a long dress, which like I thought it looked. Was it a dress or a catsuit? Catsuit? I think it was a full body suit catsuit. Anyway, she looked great, and I felt that I think because Cracker was wearing a bodysuit, some of her moves look a little bit clunky. So she was like doing some cartwheels and stuff like that, and some death drops. And I feel as though the awkwardness wasn't being able to be hidden well in that outfit. And so as much as like maybe we could have gotten like super hyped about it, I think that because it was just, you could see everything, it just didn't look as polished or sleek or as amazing as it could if she was wearing something else. So I thought she looked great if she was just standing and maybe just doing a standing lip sync, but with all the movements, I didn't feel that they looked great on the stage. I did think the funny moment though was when Miss Cracker's doing like, that break dancing move where you kind of put your leg around and you hop over your leg, and then Morgan decides to start jumping over her leg like she's playing Skip It when she's 8 years old or whatever. I thought that was pretty funny. I wish that happened for longer, but it was only like one rotation she managed to skip over, and then the song was pretty much over. So overall, I thought the lip sync was mediocre. It definitely looked to me that Morgan was going to win. I wasn't really surprised by the outcome, because with that, Morgan did win. And I thought that for sure they would want Morgan to be sending home her best friend. So she was going to have the lip sync of the group, and it was probably going to be, the group? Yeah, and it was probably going to be Mayhem. And so I thought that was the drama. But the real drama was that they both won, which I was like, I guess because they were both not great. I thought Morgan was a little bit better or more enjoyable to watch. But I guess they're both like a 6.5 out of 10. So they both are winners. And I was surprised that they would give Ms. Cracker that dough, that money. So she got 20 grand for, in my opinion, an awkward lip sync, but what do you know? And so the tie means that 2 queens could be going home. And so depending on who the group picked and who Ms. Cracker picked, if it was one of each, then maybe both of them would go home. And so I didn't think it was going to go that way. I assumed that the group was going to pick Mayhem and that Ms. Cracker was also going to pick Mayhem. And with no surprise, Mayhem was the queen that Ms. Cracker picked. So both of them picked Ms. Cracker, or both of them picked Mayhem, and Mayhem went home. And it just didn't seem that she was that deflated about it. I didn't watch Untucked this week, so I'm not sure if there's any more gossip in the back. And we're talking about maybe how she was feeling, etc. I did want have high hopes for Mayhem Miller to do a little bit better. I was hoping that she was going to be on my draft team at some point, and I was pretty, jealous that some people got it. I don't remember who it was, if it was Michael or if it was Jojo, but I was hoping that she'd come back around to me to see if I would get her, but I didn't, and now I'm glad I didn't. I wish I got India. Like, say what? Said nobody ever except me right now. So I thought it was a mediocre episode. Hopefully next week is going to be better. We're going to be talking about Snatch Game, the Boat of Love, or the Love Boat. Anyways, Snatch Game with all those love connection question type things. I think it'll be fun. From the promo, it talks about one of them saying they have the funniest snatch games ever. So I wonder who that's going to be. Hopefully it's Miss Cracker because she's on my team, or Blair St. Clair. But other than that, that's all I've got for you today. So make sure you ring that bell, because we're going to also be including Drag Race Canada into our repertoire. So we're going to do a draft pick tomorrow. We should be uploading that tomorrow. And because a lot of them will be Toronto queens, we'll be able to maybe have some Toronto queens come in and maybe chat with us, or even Michael and Jojo have some friend connections, so they might have some good stories about some of these queens. So we might have a little more insider information for Drag Race Canada. So make sure you ring that bell so that you can be notified every time we upload a video. Like this video if you liked it, and make sure you subscribe right down below. So hope you guys are doing great. And you can find us on Instagram at Realness with 3 S's, or you can find me at ShanFranFran, Jojo at Joseph O'Toole, and Michael at Michael Pez. Take care, guys. Ciao, ciao.